Matt Mercer talks about his new Daggerheart campaign frame, plus one of the biggest bans in Magic ever. Today on Above the Table, we've got a double dose of major tabletop stories. Now, before we dive into these big stories of the week, be sure to like and subscribe so we can keep making news videos like this one. Over the weekend, Darrington Press hosted a panel about Daggerheart at PAX Unplugged. The panel was interesting for several reasons. For one, Matt Mercer talked about his very Dark Souls-inspired campaign frame of Umbra, a setting where the gods have been gone for 100 years. Now, of course, since the current Critical Role campaign could wind up with no gods, some are speculating that Umbra could just be a new version of Exandria. Matt talked about how Umbra is very different than the world that the Menagerie games seen in the playtest videos are, with the realm itself rotting and dying after the departure of the gods.
It's a very, very kind of Soulsborne, dark, challenging, it's a very grim place, but by design, Daggerheart, we have, our Menagerie game was very silly and very fun and very kind of flexing and going over the top with our characters. Age of Umbra is meant to be the opposite.
The setting itself deals with the survivors of that world trying to grasp on to whatever communities they have, while also dealing with the dark things that are slowly growing in the shadows as time passes. To help give the feeling that nowhere or nothing is safe, there are some mechanics that require players to, say, take the watch action while resting or taking downtime to try to mitigate being ambushed at night. If the players don't do that and sacrifice their action, their downtime action, to watch, they could get ambushed by monsters before anyone takes their long rest. Now, obviously, Umbra is inspired by Dark Souls, Elden Ring, and Kingdom Death, all of which are games that Matt has talked about loving. And considering that the official Dark Souls RPG is a bit of a mess, it uses 5e as a basis, but had some major mechanical flaws, Umbra could really help scratch that Dark Souls itch. In other major tabletop news, Wizards of the Coast has banned the One Ring from competitive play. The One Ring, yes, that One Ring from Lord of the Rings, had become a must-have in every competitive Magic deck since its release 18 months ago, in part because the card is a colorless artifact that has escalating card draw and one turn of invulnerability. While the One Ring does deal its player damage at the start of each turn, a player could just play a second One Ring to destroy the first card and get a second turn of invulnerability. Of course, it kind of doesn't make sense that the One Ring has duplicates, but hey, that's Magic Universes Beyond for ya. In the announcement, Wizards noted that the opportunity cost of including the One Ring in nearly any deck was too low, and its presence in events had become tiresome for many players. Basically, it was a card that every deck had to have, as not having it put players at a major disadvantage. Several other cards were also banned, mostly to knock the dominant Boros Energy deck down a peg or two in competitive play. Modern also unbanned several other cards, mostly because they had become obsolete with the addition of even more powerful versions of those cards in Modern Horizon 3 and other recent sets. So, what do you think about the One Ring ban? Or, what do you think about Matt Mercer's Dark Souls setting? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons to keep following Above the Table.